Welcome to the Lacole Cycling Club, and something a little bit different this week because myself, Sam Snade and Tom McFarlane are off to Lanka in Catalonia, Spain to start the 2023 Trans Pyrenees, 1,050 kilometres self-supported across 33 mountain passes with over 25,000 metres of climbing, finishing a few days ahead of the Tour de France start in San Sebastian. This video is a preview because I think our expectations are going to be quite different to the reality of the event, and I think it's going to be quite interesting to look at those expectations and then our findings out on the event. For a little more context, Sam and I are actually taking part in this event as part of a duo, a pairing, and Tom is racing it solo. To find out a little bit more about Tom and Sam, I've asked them what their previous ultra endurance experience is, how their preparation has been, what they're most nervous about, and what they expect to be the toughest challenge of the Trans Pyrenees.
Hi guys, I'm Sam, and on the 24th of June I'll be partnering up with Chris to take on the Trans Pyrenees ultra race. A little bit about my experience of ultra endurance events. I've done things such as Audaxes up to 600 kilometres and other events such as London to Paris in 24 hours and Manchester to London in a day.
Hey guys, my name is Tom McFarlane and I'm racing the Trans Pyrenees 2023. My previous ultra distance experience is very limited. I'd say I'm a newbie to the sport. Last year I did a lot of Ironman training leading up to Ironman Austria, which I seriously enjoyed. And my longest ride was only last weekend, which was sort of 300 kilometers.
For me personally, my ultra endurance experience is relatively limited. Last year I rode 17 hours back from London to Cornwall into a headwind, 460 kilometers I think it was. Previous to that, I suppose stage racing is sort of like an ultra endurance event where you're just racing again day after day, a couple of 100 kilometers at a time. Other than that, I would say I'm actually a complete novice when it comes to ultra endurance.
I feel like my preparation for the event has gone incredibly well, or as well as can be expected, using things such as the Zwift Lacole rides during the week, whilst also doing long back-to-back days at weekends and after work to ensure that I've got as much acclimatisation as possible to the long days that we're going to be going through.
My preparation for the Trans Pyrenees has been working with my coach over the last 5 to 6 months to try and really raise my sort of baseline fitness levels to be higher, as raising my FTP, and also doing a lot of VO2 max sessions to be able to get myself ready for the consistent back-to-back strain of the days that we're going to have in the Trans Pyrenees. Which consisted of a lot of weekends of back-to-back sort of plus 4 hour sort of rides, trying to get my sort of aerobic capacity much higher.
I'm really nervous about not having enough equipment and not enough spares, not enough clothing. I've raced in mountains before, gone up one side, 25 to 30 degree heat, and then you've gone down the other side in a hailstorm and it's freezing cold and you're on the brakes and you're in the little ring trying to pedal just to stay warm. So I'm really nervous about that.
What am I most nervous about when it comes to this event? It's a lot of the unknowns. Never ridden in the Pyrenees before, so there's going to be so many different challenges along with the sleep aspect of things and also finding food when riding into the small hours of the morning.
So I am most nervous about I think the altitude and the elevation is the two hardest things to, I think, predict, that and probably water management. It's very hard to simulate racing, I think, up at, sort of 2,000 meters or so. It's really a bit of an unknown for me at the moment. It's very hard to simulate that within the UK. I know I've got the fitness, I think, to carry myself. The question is going to be whether I can perform when we're, sort of plus 1,500 meters up, because the UK doesn't have the same amount of hills or mountains in this case. And I think the other thing that worries me is it's set to be in the high 30s next week, and fuel, like water management, is going to be really, really critical, as much as being able to just eat enough throughout the trip.
I think the biggest challenge is going to be actually getting to the event, but then once we've gotten past that, it's going to be carrying our equipment, dealing with fatigue. I don't like being tired. In fact, it's probably my least favourite thing is fatigue. That's going to be the biggest challenge, I think. And then maintaining a cohesive working duo between Sam and I, whilst we're both heavily fatigued, I think is going to be a real challenge. We're really going to have to manage each other's expectations, energy levels, and just make sure we look out for each other on the road.
For me, I think the biggest challenge is going to be riding as part of a pair and also making sure that we work together to each other's strengths. Obviously, Chris and I live in different parts of the country, so we haven't been able to ride as much as we'd like to together to work out everyone's strengths and weaknesses.
The two most challenging bits. One is just finishing the event, back-to-back fatigue, and seeing how the muscles are kind of surviving each day and being able to get up each day and kind of just get on with it, while potentially having not a lot of sleep. I think that's hard. I also think the third day, which has both the Tourmalet and the Tourmaluse, is just a huge day of climbing. I think I'm going to find that fitness-wise the most challenging section. It's really hard, really rough going, and I'm quietly confident at the same time as quite worried. The elevation on Strava looks insane, and on the commute as well. So yeah, I'm worried about that bit, but quietly confident.
I'm genuinely really excited about this. It's a huge opportunity to do something a little bit different for me personally, a huge challenge physically, mentally, and it's just going to be a fantastic opportunity to try and share and hopefully inspire you to take on such a challenge as well. This is the beauty of ultra endurance cycling to me. It's so relatable to everyone. We can all set our own personal challenges and go out and try and fulfill them. We can't all go and race the world's biggest bike races, but we can all challenge ourselves to ride further and to really push ourselves that way. So I can't wait to bring you the full story. Wish us luck, please. If you have any questions about the event, please drop them in the comments below, and that way we can do our best to answer them for you. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you after the event.